What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. We are at episode 47. Let's give it a round of applause. Yep. We're at episode 47 now. Moving on along. It is a beautiful Saturday, September 27th at 9 o'clock in the morning. A little later than usual. I'm always going to do Saturdays a little between 8 to 9, just depending on how I'm feeling. But like always, we got a lot of stories to talk about. We're gonna go through more crime stories in the beginning part, and then later part we got just other stories, not a lot of crime related stuff, but just more information that I found interesting and that wanted to review the world together with y'all. But hopefully everybody's having a good weekend, started their weekend. If you got to work, have a good time at work. If you don't, hey, enjoy your time. Be productive if you can. If not, if you're trying to relax, hey, just relax. But like always, I am your host, AC the Engineer. If you ever disagree with anything I say, please, let's have a discussion about it. I love to have discussions with people. Tell me your point of view. And if you ever find any stories that you want us to review, please send it over to my email. It's acreviewstheworld@gmail.com. That's a dot after the A and a dot after the C. But you know how I like to do it. I like to get right into it. We got to get right into it. We got a couple of things to talk about. The first thing we're going to get into today, is we got to go over to Houston. We have to go back over to Houston bayous because we talked about this before. Bodies are being found in the Hudson Bayou, in the Houston Bayou. So we got to talk about that now. But the question is there a serial killer? Is there a serial killer? I've watched a lot of crime documentaries, a lot of crime shows in general, and a lot of bodies turning up. The police are saying it's not a coincidence, but we got to look at the details. But we got two videos to look at for this, so we're gonna get into it and see what the police are talking about. But it seems like a new body was just found. But first thing we're gonna get into, it looks like the police issued a statement about all the recent bodies that are being found that are making the news. So let's get into it, y'all, and then let's see what it's all about.
5, enough is enough. That is Mayor John Whitmire's response to rumors spreading on social media that a serial killer is on the loose in Houston.
The rumors started flying after word spread that 5 bodies were pulled from local bayous in 5 days last week.
Katira Winfrey is live at HPD headquarters where the mayor and the police chief tried to put the rumors to rest. Katira.
5 bodies in 5 days. Now, I don't know if they've been there. They haven't told us much information about the state of the bodies, if they were decomposed or anything like that. But 5 bodies in 5 days. Hey, let's get into it.
Yeah, Lynn and Mia, the mayor and the police chief say the misinformation and speculation is stoking fear and anxiety unnecessarily, and says there is no clear evidence, and was clear there is no evidence of a serial killer. Now, those 5 bodies pulled from the bayous in the last week, he says, is just a unfortunate circumstance. Houston has 2,500 miles of bayous and waterways, and both reiterated there is no evidence to suggest that any of these deaths are connected. But the medical examiner will have to determine the causes of death. Of the 5 deaths in the last week, so far only one person has been identified, a University of Houston student who had been missing. A second person has also been identified, but they won't release that name until they are sure the family has been notified.
I do say enough's enough on speculation, out of respect for the families and also for 2.3 million Houstonians and our region. We have challenges. We're meeting those challenges. But a serial killer loose in Houston is not one of our challenges today. And I would hope.
And the mayor says there is a myriad of reasons people have been ending up in the bayou. He says some of them may be homeless, some of them may be experiencing mental health crises. But he says the timing of this set off an alarm, but again, reiterated, there is no evidence that a serial killer is on the loose in Houston.
Now, okay, that is completely understandable. That is completely understandable. There could be other reasons why multiple bodies, five bodies in 5 days was found in the Houston Bayou. But let's be honest now. Would they tell us if they were on the tracks of a serial killer? I've known different shows and different crime documentaries that they wouldn't want people to find out about it. They wouldn't want to set off the killer. We don't know. Like I said, this is just speculation. But a lot of bodies are turning up. Now, it could be coincidence, but it could not be. Let's get into it. But let's get over into this next video about the most recent body that was found.
Well, this morning we are following breaking news after a woman's body was found in Buffalo Bayou last night.
Yeah, now this comes, as you know, just days after.
So before we get into this comes days after. So this is 2 days after they did that press release where they was talking about there's not a serial killer. So let's get into it.
City leaders address the growing online rumors that a serial killer could be targeting people near the water. Our Jalissa Garza joining us live near the University of Houston downtown with what we know so far. Jalissa, makes it kind of tough to keep trying to shake those online rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alona and Devon, absolutely. As you mentioned, this comes just days after the mayor and the Houston Police Department's chief bluntly said, no, there is no serial killer on the loose in Houston, and there's no evidence to back up that claim. But this discovery is the exact kind that is leading to the speculation and concern that we continue to see online. Now, we're just off the bayou near the University of Houston downtown. Houston police say that they got a call at around 11:30 o'clock last night saying that there was a body found in the water near the intersection of Commerce and Milam. Now take a look at your screen. We do have some video of the scene. Police tell us people riding scooters is who spotted what looked like a body in the bayou, and that's when the call came in. When officers arrived, they called in the dive team who were able to recover a woman's body. There was a heavy police presence at the scene with several units responding, including homicide investigators. At this point, the woman's identity has not been released, and it's still unclear how she ended up in the water. Investigators did note there are several encampments in this area, and that is all still under investigation. Now, this makes the sixth body found in or near Houston bayous in the past 2 weeks. It's something we talked about earlier this week, and if you remember, we spoke to some women during our KHOU 11 Plus morning.
So hold on, let's pause it for a second. So let's look through all these. You got 916, you got White Oak Drive, 918, you got Jenny's. I'm not good with names. I know that drive. 925. You got 920. You got 915, and you got 950. So two of these were found in the same day. I mean, it could be a coincidence. It could be. So, but like I said, would they tell us if they were actually thinking a serial killer? I don't know.
Stream, who said after hearing from officials, they still were skeptical about the mayor and the police saying, no, there's no serial killer and there's no evidence. Now, only one person has been publicly identified when it comes to all of the bodies that have been found in or near Houston bayous. Now, that person was a University of Houston student who had been reported missing. Another was identified privately, but the name of that person hasn't been released. Now, police do say so far there is no evidence, no connection to those other cases. We know some of those are still under investigation. Now, coming up in the next hour, we'll hear from police who addressed all of these concerns that we continue seeing across social media. Again, we'll have that coming up in the next hour. For now, reporting live in downtown Houston, Jalissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
Jalissa, thank you. Well, this
now, so at this point right now, they're not confirming or they're not saying that they're denying that it's a serial killer. I mean, I don't know what to say. It could be a coincidence. Yes, it could be a coincidence, but at the end of the day, be careful. That is my main advice. Be careful. Don't go out at night walking alone. Don't be alone. It sounds like you should not be alone out in Houston walking around at night. Now, they could be all homeless people who have, majority of them are homeless people who end up falling or drowning into the bayous. They haven't released any information of the cause of death on majority of them, or I think most of them. They haven't released any of the most recent ones. But we have to remember that the Houston bayou has been having bodies found, multiple bodies found throughout the years. So it's been a lot. I've just go back and watch that. The last video I did, where it was from 6 years ago, it was talking about how 40 bodies were found in 3 years. I mean, could it be a hunting ground, or could it be a dumping ground for a killer? It's possible. Or it could be a coincidence. They said it was like 2,500 miles of bayou that they have out there. Now, I might be stating it, but there's a lot of miles of bayou out there. So it could be a coincidence. It could be, but some people are getting scared. Some people are worried about what they're not telling us. People won't believe what the police say. But we'll keep up with this story and see if they actually release any more information about the cause of death of all these people. It's a tragic. In the end, it's tragic because most people have lost their lives. They said, I think they said 6 or 7 in the last 2 weeks. 5, and it's in general, it's a tragic situation. We got to pray for the families of all the victims. Hopefully, they're dealing with their grief well, but it's a scary world out here. It's a scary world out here. We don't know what's happening. And the people in Houston that the news people are talking to seem to be a little worried about it. But we had to bring that to our attention. Tell me your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think there is a serial killer, or do you think it's just all a coincidence? Now, and do you think that they would tell us if there was if they were even thinking that there was a serial killer out there? But at the end of the day, please be careful. Go out. If you're going out walking on these night trails, please don't be alone and be with somebody else. It's a tragic situation all about. Absolutely crazy, y'all. But we're going to pivot now. We're going to pivot now into a smash and grab. So it looks like a jewelry store ended up having like 20 people run up in it, shooting out the window, some crazy stuff. More things that when I'm seeing all these crimes, it just, at the end of the day, it just makes me think, who raised you? Now, of course, I was a younger kid doing some crazy things, nothing too crazy where I'll get thrown in jail, but I know if I go home, my mama gonna beat my butt. So I didn't do it at all. I tried to stay out of trouble. Did my best to stay on the right path, but some people don't have that good upbringing. Some people don't care about what the consequences are of their actions. Man, it's the way of the world now. It's the way of the world. But let's get into it. We got 2 videos to look at, and it's a wild scene. But let's get right into it and see what we can learn. I believe they stole a lot of jewelry. I think they said about $1 million worth of jewelry, but don't quote me on that. Let's get into it and see exactly what the facts are.
And we have dramatic new video of a takeover robbery at a high-end San Ramon shopping center. It ended when the suspects shot their way out of that jewelry store.
NBC Bear's Jody Hernandez spoke with police about how they managed to track down those thieves.
San Ramon police released several new videos of that terrifying takeover robbery. They say the Dublin Police Department gave them a heads up that a robbery crew out of Oakland was in the area. So they immediately deployed their drone to the shopping center. And they say, of course, the store's surveillance cameras also captured the robbers in action. This is the moment more than 20 masked and hooded people stormed into Heller Jewelers and
come on now. Let's talk about this for a second. Why they're a team? You see all these people coming into the store? They got on the group chat and it was like, yeah, we're gonna meet up here, and we gonna 20 of them come up. Let's meet up, and then we all gonna storm the store all together. They ain't gonna stop us all. And you know, some of these stores aren't allowed to fight back because then they'll get in trouble. It's a crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world we live in. But I think all thieves need to face the punishment they deserve. But let's get into it.
In broad daylight Monday, some of them armed with guns, others with crowbars. Police say the mob then helped themselves to $1 million worth of fine jewelry.
When they went in, they basically took over the store. They went to all the jewelry display cases and began just smashing the display cases at will, using the crowbars and the pickaxes, and basically taking whatever jewelry was available.
When the store door closed behind them, police say it automatically locked, trapping the group inside. A witness captured the robbers firing shots to escape.
It was a very dangerous situation. They did fire multiple rounds through the door, which caused the door to shatter, and they were able to then push the glass out and exit.
Drone footage captured the suspects getting into their cars and speeding away. Police say choppers followed them. Officers arrested 3 men and a 17-year-old on International Boulevard in Oakland and arrested 3 others at the Dublin BART station.
The biggest concern was not seeing just 1 or 2 or 3 people, but like 20 people being involved in something like this.
Michael and Joyce Comer just bought their wedding rings at Heller. They were hoping to get them cleaned today, but the store was closed. They are appalled at what happened.
Something really tragic could have happened, worse than stealing jewelry yesterday.
Police say they're still looking for at least 17 suspects. They say detectives are working around the clock to find them. In San Ramon, Jody Hernandez, NBC.
Now, they're still looking for 17 suspects. They said they caught 6. Caught 6 of them. Still looking for 17. So that means 23 people. Absolutely crazy. And we all know what would have happened if somebody would try to stop them. They would have lost their life. They would have lost their life. I mean, if you see something like this, just walk away. I mean, we got to walk away and call the police. Don't try to intervene. Please don't try to intervene. The store owners, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe more police presence, but the police can't be everywhere. There's not enough police out there. It's a tragic scene. But let's get over into this next video. Let's see if it gives us any more detail about it.
I've learned that San Ramon police had their drone up above this jewelry store even before this robbery crew showed up in their stolen cars. So police watched it all go down remotely and then directed officers on the ground to move in. This is a drone like the one that gave San Ramon police a bird's eye view of a jewelry store robbery in real time. KTVU got a behind-the-scenes look at the technology that helped lead to arrests. From hundreds of feet above city center Bishop Ranch, the drone's camera instantly gave police footage of the getaway stolen vehicles. The group invaded Heller Jewelers at about 1:50 Monday afternoon. Some were armed with guns, while others smashed display cases with tools. San Ramon Police Lieutenant Lacey Pelayo says the total haul was worth up to $2 million.
Everywhere from rings to watches, necklaces, bracelets. That was among some of the stuff that we recovered.
But the group didn't count on the front door to lock behind them. One robber fired shots from a 9mm handgun, shattering the glass door and allowing them to get out. But thanks to a tip by Dublin police, San Ramon police had already launched their drone, which spotted the group running to getaway cars staged in the valet area. This is the command center for what's known as the Drone as First Responder program at San Ramon Police. This was where Sergeant Todd Feinberg, sitting at the console, as well as another officer out in the field, controlled the drone at the time of the robbery.
Our drones are quiet enough, and they just don't know they're up there.
Was that a PlayStation controller, y'all? Hold on. We got to back that up, because was that a PlayStation controller? I know a PlayStation controller when I see one.
Another officer out in the field controlled the drone at the time of the robbery.
Our drones are quiet enough, and they just don't know they're up there. We're able to zoom in and capture the footage that we did and give the situational awareness to our officers responding.
The drone footage and work by San Ramon, Oakland, and Dublin police led to some arrests.
We are going to work on identifying the other individuals who are outstanding and obviously complete this entire investigation.
At a rally Thursday, Dublin's mayor and activists praised police but warned these robberies are happening across the Bay Area.
What happened recently actually shocked our mind about the safety of our area.
Crime is not geo-fenced. So crime that is resulting from criminals coming out of the areas of Oakland trying to get the low-hanging fruit from other adjacent communities.
Police tell me they're grateful to see the fruits of their labor with their drone program leading to arrests before all the suspects could go to ground.
Yeah.
Now, I've learned within the last few minutes, Contra Costa County DA's office has filed robbery and conspiracy charges against 3 men there. Ira Austin, who's 19, and 2 brothers, Jimmy Ray, who's 27, and his older brother, Michael Ray, 31. I learned that the younger brother, Jimmy Ray, pleaded no contest to robbing a TV news photographer of his camera in Berkeley back in 2020. Live in San Ramon, Henry Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Absolutely wow.
I know, Henry, as you said, they're still searching for more suspects in connection with this robbery, but I would imagine it's really important as well to get the message out that they have this drone technology to help them catch people in order to try to deter people from wanting to commit these kinds of crimes in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, Claudine. On top of store surveillance, you never know who else is watching. So there could be drones up above you or following you some way. You just don't know until it's too late.
Yeah, anything that's...
Come on now. Let's be honest now. Let's be honest. People do not care about cameras. Not anymore. We are in the age where everywhere can be a camera. And the criminals know this. The criminals know this for a fact. They do not care. You know what they do? They'll put a ski mask on, cover all their skin, and they're going to still do what they're going to do. I don't think that just knowing that a drone is out there can help is going to deter criminals. If criminals want to do something, they're going to do it. It's a tragic situation. The main thing that only can be done is that you have harsh penalties for the criminals. Don't give them no slap on the wrist crime or slap on the wrist punishment. They have to be they have to go to jail. Go to jail. No. There's I know in some places they have where if it's just theft and nonviolence, they'll just it's not they'll let them out easily. But the only thing that can stop this is more police presence and harsher crimes. I think that's the only way to get to stipend the crime that's happening, the smash and grabs. We got smash and grabs going on everywhere. Chicago, here. It's not going to stop unless we punish the people who are caught. But it's going to take a lot of manpower. It's going to take some money. It's going to take some money for the taxpayers. Got to be honest about it. It's a tragic situation. I am happy that no one was hurt. No one was hurt in this most recent one, but that it doesn't stop that what it can happen. Because we just talked about probably a few weeks ago or 2 weeks ago about the Chicago smash and grab at the Louis Vuitton store, where that ended up in a fatal crash when they were fleeing away. Man just trying to drive around ends up dying from someone running away from the smash and grab. So it can end up deadly. But hopefully I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% positive all the stuff that is stolen is covered under insurance. So they will be able to recover from this. At least that's my hope. But be careful out there. And again, do not try to stop them. I mean, if you're a regular civilian, unless they threaten your life, do not intervene. Don't try to step in their way. If you're inside the store, don't try to fight back. Just let them have it. I mean, it's a sad reality, but merchandise is not worth risking your life. It's not worth you losing your life to someone who does not care. They will shoot you. They will try to take you out. Even if you try to fight back, like they try to take your wallet, they might even shoot you just to stop the fight. Absolutely tragic situation. But like I said, no one was hurt in this most recent one. But it is nice to see that they are using more technology, drone technology, to help catch the criminals. That's what's gonna be the future. More drone technology out there. Someone just sitting in there following them, because it's easy to follow them. Find out where they lay their head at. Sitting over there with the PlayStation controller. Where's my play? See, I know a PlayStation controller when I see one. Hold on, where's my play? Got my PlayStation controller right here. They right there. Oh, yeah, I got you. Right to the house. Right to the house. But let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you have any ideas on what are the best ways to stop this type of crime. Is there any other way besides harsher punishment and more police presence? Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. It's a crazy world out here. It's a crazy world. But at the end of the day, what we got to do, we got to always review the world together. We got to review the world together. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, we're going to pivot now into something a little deeper. A man ends up stabbing his wife during a custody exchange. I don't know this situation. I don't know what happened during this situation, but what can cause a man to want to stab his wife during a custody when you're trying to pick up your kids? Exchanging custody. I'm assuming that's what they was talking about, but let's get into it. We got 2 videos to talk about. This happened in Macomb County. I think that's how you say it, but it's a tragic story. Oh, see, look, I'm already popping stuff up. It's a tragic story, but let's get right into it and see what all this information is about. Absolutely crazy. Let's get into it.
Tonight, we're getting our first look at the man accused of stabbing and killing his own estranged wife at a Macomb County gas station.
25-year-old Sidney Davis Jr. was formally charged today with 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder. Let's get out to our Noelle Friel. She's live tonight. Noelle, we're learning a lot more about the circumstances surrounding this.
Yeah, that's right. We first reported on this Sunday evening when that stabbing happened. The Macomb County Prosecutor's Office identified the victim as Fatme Davis, but her family says she went by Stella. They say this all happened during what was supposed to be a custody exchange of their 1-year-old child.
She was an amazing mother, and she loved her son more than anything in this world, and she made sure that everybody knows that.
The brother of...
Hold on. We're gonna, I'm not going to stop it too much, but so this happened in front of their 1-year-old son? There are some awful people in this world, truly awful. I don't know what the circumstances was, but fatally stabbing your wife during a custody exchange of your child, 1-year-old child. Absolutely crazy. Let's back it up some.
Stella Davis. She went by Stella. They say this all happened during what was supposed to be a custody exchange of their 1-year-old child.
She was an amazing mother, and she loved her son more than anything in this world, and she made sure that everybody knows that.
The brother of Stella Davis emotional after her estranged husband appeared in court, charged with her murder. Police say 25-year-old Sidney Davis beat and stabbed her to death inside this Meyer gas station in Shelby Township after meeting up with her to exchange custody of their 1-year-old son.
She just thought that he wanted to see his son, and her loving her son very much, she did not want to keep him away from the father. She always thought about her son over herself.
Saif Mahmoud says his sister had separated from Davis, but they weren't yet legally divorced. He says she had gone to the police to report him for abuse in the past.
She's been to the police station many times, complaining about abuse and other things of that sort, and it was not taken seriously.
I think that there is a high risk to the public, Your Honor, considering the fact that this occurred during the day in a public place.
In court, Davis was denied bond by the judge.
Good.
Mahmoud believes his sister's death was a preventable tragedy and is now focused on protecting her son.
Everybody loves her son. He is such a beautiful little boy, and my nephew will grow up to remember how beautiful and how much his mother loved him.
And Mahmoud says that their son is now in CPS custody and the family is working to place them with a relative. Davis's next court appearance is scheduled for October 7th. Live in Shelby Township, Noel.
Absolutely crazy. Now, I will like to say, it is good to see that she was trying to give her son some time with his father. But at the end of the day, if the man was abusive, it's a tragic thing that she lost her life. It's a tragic thing. He deserves to be punished from the hardest laws that they can. But let's be honest now. If he is abusive, I don't care how much you want your son to spend with your father. He's not a good father. There's no need for you to have your son over with his father who is abusive, because at the end of the day, he wouldn't make a good father. That's my thinking. But tell me if you disagree with me. Tell me if you disagree. But let's get over into this next video and see if it gives us any more details about it. Ladies, at the end of the day, please be careful. You have to choose who you have in your life carefully. You got to choose who you have in your life carefully. Let's get into it.
Fox 2's Scott Wolchak joining us now live with the latest on this case. And Scott, we understand that he and his wife were separated. Did they have domestic issues in the past like that?
Yeah, Taryn, you know what? This is something where the young victim, Stella Davis, 23 years old, had a 1-year-old child, and her friends and family confirmed that she had filed for divorce against the man who was charged with her murder, and that man is Sidney Davis. The two were together for a while. Friends and family tell me that, yes, there was a history of some bad stuff there, right? They couldn't go into a ton of detail about that, but there was a history. She was doing everything right, and then this unfortunate thing happened. Now, what police are saying is that Stella and Sidney Davis allegedly met up at this Meyer gas station for a safe custody handoff, basically, right? The dad wanted to see the 1-year-old kid, and friends and family have said that Stella was such a kind person that she knew that the kid needed to see the father, even though she was afraid of this guy. Take a listen.
Didn't feel safe around him, and in this terrible incident, she just thought that he wanted to see his son, and her loving her son very much, she did not want to keep him away from the father. She always thought about her son over herself, and it led to this horrible incident. Her last social media post was, "I will flip this world upside down for my son. Remember that." And that was the last thing that she's ever posted on social media. So that should tell you exactly how much she adores and loves her son.
And one of the most tragic parts about this, police say that that 1-year-old boy was there at that Meyer gas station when this happened. Now, what we know is that Davis's bond was denied. He was charged with first-degree murder. As for Stella, friends, family, they all met here at the Great Baraboo Brewing Company. This is where she worked. They all got together, just holding each other up in memory of her, and they're trying to raise some money for her 1-year-old boy, making sure that he has something that, some type of future and finances in the wake of this terrible, terrible tragedy. Friends and family tell me that, yeah, you know what? She was having a hard time with this guy. She was afraid of him, but she was a strong woman, right? You know, she grew up in the foster care system, and she worked very hard, and she loved her little boy, Elliot, very, very much. You know, she worked here at the Great Baraboo, where a lot of her friends came together just in remembrance. They're heartbroken right now, but right now, their main goal is taking care of her baby.
Think about Elliot every second of the day, how he's never going to see her again, and how that breaks me, that someone could do this.
The only thing that she'd be telling us right now is, you make sure my baby's safe. And that's the only thing that we want to do is take care of him, because she can't anymore. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks really bad, because, all we want is for her to be here, and it shouldn't have been her.
Let's pause for, I've said it before. Please choose carefully, but You are correct. Where's this coming at? You are correct. These men do pretend very well. There are some people who pretend very well. He sounded like he said he's trying to plead with us, saying, yes, please. I just want to see my son. I just want to see my son. She was a good person, so she agreed to it. But ladies, you have to, if he's been abusive, I don't care how much he pleads. At the end of the day, I don't care if he's the father. There's no need for him to be in the child's life. It's just going to be a detriment to the child itself. You don't want your child growing up to be like him. I mean, we got to be honest about it, but tragic situation, absolutely tragic. And it's a horrible thing. She sounds like she was a great mother. And she will be missed. Let's keep going into this.
Has a village behind her, that's for sure. This village definitely helped her because it does take a village to raise a kid, especially as a single mom. She did get a divorce and it was getting finalized. It was just, some people can't handle rejection.
You know, this entire thing happened at that Meijer gas station in broad daylight around this time, right? You know, and it's one of the things where it happened in front of that little boy. So just a terrible story all around. Sidney Davis, he was denied bond. His next court date set for October 7th. We'll keep you updated with the very latest. Reporting live, Clinton Township, Scott Walchek, Fox 2 News. Taryn, back to you.
So heartbreaking, Scott. I mean, do we know if they had a history of violence throughout their time together as a couple?
You know, I heard from Stella's brother who said that, you know, it sounded like there was some abuse going on there, right? You know, these are allegations. He said that she went to the police numerous times. She would text him. Lots of her friends said the same type of thing. You know, they were worried about this guy, but she was doing everything right. You know, she filed for divorce, and the only reason that she met up with this guy was he wanted to see his son. She loved her son. She knew that it was a good thing for him to see his dad, but nobody expected this.
Absolutely tragic situation. Now, that's a good question. That's a good thing. Good question. I don't know. I hope he doesn't go into foster care either. Hopefully the family is able to take care of him. But it sounds like they're raising money right now, trying to make sure he has a good life. But he's going to grow up without a mother and without a father. Oh, the father, I don't know. I hope he doesn't go and see the I hope he doesn't go and see the father while he's in jail. But the father is still alive. Father is still alive, and he might want to go see him when he gets older. Maybe just to look him in his eyes, but it's tragic. Absolutely tragic, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. How much time you think he should get? 25 to life, I'm assuming. I don't even think he should be out. This is some cold-blooded stuff. Asking your estranged wife to have a custody exchange after you were abusive to her, and then the whole reason you did that was just so you can, because it was premeditated, just so you can end up taking her life. Women, please be careful. If you are a victim of domestic abuse, please go seek help. I know it's hard to get away. I can't imagine what you're going through your mind during these times. But just know that people are there to help you. And I hope that you can find a way out. You can find a way out. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yep, you're exactly. Yep. Do never tolerate abuse. Never. Now, let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said, but we got to pivot. We got to pivot over into another. So see, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy world because we got to pivot over into another man who murdered his estranged wife. Yes, in Arlington. White man murdered his estranged wife. So we're going to get over into that and see what's different about this case. So please be careful, ladies. At the end of the day, be careful. Please be careful. Don't take unnecessary risk. And if the man is abusive and you have to meet him for some reason, take someone with you. Take someone with you, or call the police and tell them. And the police will show up and with you if you got to do something. But absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this video and see what all this is about. But the husband charged with murder. Let's get into it.
An Arlington man is charged with murdering his estranged wife at her home 1 week after he was arrested and ordered to stay clear of the family.
Yeah, this is pretty wild. Frederick Spears was taken into custody after a brief and violent standoff with officers. Police say he stabbed Mary Spears to death, her 19-year-old son discovering her body. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with the son and joins us live tonight with the family's story. Hi, Peyton.
Hi, Casey, and I'm going to break down this timeline for you guys. Now, less than a week before Mary Spears was killed, her estranged husband was arrested on a family violence charge. Now, Arlington police here admit after he bonded out on that charge, officers agreed to drop him off at his wife's home, even though, according to his bond.
No. I know I didn't just hear what I think I hear, what I think I'm hearing. You mean to tell me after he just had a family violence incident, you drop him off at the wife's house? No. Some things don't make sense. Some things don't make sense, but let's keep going.
Even though, according to his bond conditions, contact with family members was prohibited.
Now that it's happened, I never knew that I could be this strong.
Monday morning, Ashton Spears got out of bed. He looked out in the backyard. His mom, Mary Spears, was stabbed to death.
I felt so bad because my mom's laying there dead, and I'm still looking around because I'm so scared. I don't know if he's here or if he's hiding.
55-year-old Frederick Spears is now charged with murder, accused of fatally stabbing his estranged wife. Their 19-year-old son, Ashton, says Monday morning his dad entered through the side gate and also texted him a bizarre, aggressive text reading, "I should never came back to help her, but I did not learn my lesson. So the one you all took advantage of and pushed too far returns favor." The couple had stopped living together, but recently Mary Spears struggled with some health problems, so she wanted her estranged husband to move back into their Arlington home.
It's not a kid in Ashton.
Oh, I know.
The family's Ring camera captured an argument from September 17th. Frederick Spears seen armed with 2 kitchen knives. He was arrested that night on 1 count of aggravated assault family violence and bonded out of the Arlington City Jail the next day with conditions, including a no contact order to stay away from his family members. However,
but the police dropped him off? Absolutely crazy.
The Arlington Police Department admits officers gave Frederick a ride from the jail to his wife's home to get his vehicle. He did eventually leave the property, but Ashton Spears and his mom were left shocked.
We were so mad that they brought him here, and my mom was one to. She had said that we do need to go to the police department and tell them that they did that.
4 days later, police say Frederick Spears came back and killed his wife. Now, Arlington Police is conducting an administrative review of its policies, and it acknowledged officers shouldn't have arranged transportation back to the home.
I don't want to get her in trouble or, have her ruin, lose her job or anything like that, because she's a human too, but I do want people to know that that's what they did.
Oh, so it was a woman.
The suspect, Frederick Spears, remains in Arlington's custody. We know law enforcement found him in Grand Prairie after the murder. They tell us that when officers approached him, he started stabbing himself. Tasers were used. Less than lethal rounds were used to take him into custody. He is recovering at a nearby hospital, and then he will be booked into jail, again, charged with murder. Casey?
Just incredible.
I'm right there with you. Why would you drop him off at the house? Come on now. Nah, they got to sue the. I mean, it's a tragic situation. I know. I don't think they're thinking about this right now, but at the end of the day, you got to sue the police. I mean, that's crazy. You mean to tell me that he was ordered to stay away from his family, but then the police drop him off at his family? I don't know if they stayed there while he was getting his truck or they just dropped him off and left, but come on now. Absolutely crazy. It's a tragic situation. This man killed his wife, his estranged wife, in the backyard while his son was sleeping in the house. There's some sick individuals in this world. There's some demons in this world, y'all. Some demons. And the only reason that she needed him back in his life because she was facing health issues. She was facing health issues. Some days I'm looking at some of these news articles and I'm just wondering, how could a human being do this? But then I got to remember that some people, even though we look the same, shouldn't be considered human beings. They are monsters. Some people are monsters. I'm praying for the son, praying for the other family members, because I can't imagine waking up and then discovering my mom killed by my father. It's absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. And then when he's caught, see why people are so big and bad when they actually do the crime, but then when they're caught, they end up trying to take their own lives. Absolutely, he doesn't want to face the punishments of the crimes that he committed, so he tries to take his own life. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think that they should sue the police? Do you think that they would win that lawsuit? That's the question. Do you think that they'll win that lawsuit? But when something like this tragic happens, you're not going to think about that. Well, you might, but I would think you're more concerned about how much time the killer is going to get. Maybe you think about that. Maybe you think about it, but there's a lot of questions. And whoever agreed to drop him off probably needs to be fired. I mean, it just makes sense to me. Needs to be fired. And even the police admitted that it's something they shouldn't have done. Yeah, sue them, take their money. Son gonna have to recover from this. He's gonna need some therapy. And let the father stay in jail for life. Just like with that last dude. These people need to stay in jail for life. Life. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that. The world is getting crazier and crazier by the day. Crazier and crazier by the day. That's why I like to stay inside. But let's pivot over to New York. We got to pivot to New York. It seems like the New York City gang membership is at an all-time high. All-time high in New York. And it's a lot of crimes are happening. And the gang members are getting younger and younger. Younger and younger. Now, what's the reason why there's so many people becoming gang members? My first thought is not a good parental mentorship in their life, both male and female. They're turned to the life of crime. They put on a higher pedestal what the gang life is. They don't care about going to jail. None of that. But let's get into this video and see what all is happening in New York. Let's get over into that. Hold on, let me see. Let's get over right into this video and see what all's happening.
New York City is no stranger to gun violence and gangs in certain neighborhoods, but now police are finding them all over the city, and gang members are getting younger and younger.
Meanwhile, Lisa Evers takes a closer look in a preview of this week's episode of Street Soldiers.
Once upon a time, gangs in New York were mostly found in low-income, high-crime areas, city jails like Rikers Island and state prisons. But now gang membership in New York City is at an all-time high. That's according to multiple law enforcement officials. And the age of the gang members is barely in the double digits. This chart from Vanguard Crime Strategies, LLC, shows the overall structure of gang life in New York.
Let's pause it for a second. We got to see the exact. So we got Bloods, Crips, Trinidad. So you see, I'm not good. And then Folk Nation. And then under that
city, it looks organized, but it's complex and even chaotic, with shifting alliances and even coalitions between former rivals called ops. In New York City, there are 4 main nationally affiliated gangs: the Bloods, the Crips, Folk Nation, and the Trinitarios. Under them, there are hundreds of smaller groups called sets or crews. There's no exact census on actual numbers, but law enforcement officials estimate it's in the tens of thousands.
They're putting everything online, or whether they're rapping about their ops, or whether they're kicking over candles, or whether they're actually doing drills. They're doing everything online, and they're documenting and creating their own digital footprint.
We had
absolutely crazy. Hold on, let's back it up some. I noticed something. Where is it at?
With shifting alliances and even coalitions between former rivals called ops.
So look at this. Look how young these people are. This one looks very young. This one looks kind of scared. The one in the red looked kind of scared. I don't know. That might just be what I'm thinking, but look how young they look. Dreadheads, acting all hard, but then they go into jail. And then they're going to be crying in the cell.
In New York City, there are 4 main nationally affiliated gangs: the Bloods, the Crips, Folk Nation, and the Trinitarios. Under them, there are hundreds of smaller groups called sets or crews. There's no exact census on actual numbers, but law enforcement officials estimate it's in the tens of thousands.
They're putting everything online, or whether they're rapping about their ops, or whether they're kicking over candles, or whether they're actually doing drills. They're doing everything online, and they're documenting and creating their own digital footprint.
We had exclusive access to NYPD Gun Violence Suppression Division takedowns in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx, where police and prosecutors...
They all look the same. Oh, my God. What? I like how they're getting the lingo down now. They got all the lingo, ops, drills. They got all the lingo because they've been studying it. And then people are... The age of technology is a good and a bad thing. It's helping people catch these horrible people because for some reason, people like to rap about their crimes. People like to show their crimes, show their money, show their guns, show when they do a drill. It's absolutely crazy. Let's keep going.
Put alleged trigger pullers in handcuffs. Police say both shooters and their victims are getting younger, and 96% are minorities.
You have to realize that about 65% of our shootings in New York City historically have a gang nexus.
Gang members' digital boasting and posting of crimes and threats leaves a digital fingerprint and a fast track to a conviction, says prominent criminal defense attorney Arthur Aidala, who represents Chef G.
The pictures of you with the guns that you put on your Instagram page, well, we got that. The picture of you doing some kind of rant about something, that's going to come in. Or if at the very least, it's going to be used against you.
Hip-hop community activist Hassan Hocus 4/5 Harris, a former gang member, ignited the internet when he started the Drop My Flag Challenge to encourage young gang members to leave gangs before it's too late. The former member of the notorious Bronx blood set called Sex Money Murder murder, was acquitted in 2012 of conspiracy charges that could have kept him behind bars for life.
Some of them might even look up to me and who I was, not understanding that I come up in an era, it wasn't no cameras. Right. Nowadays, you go spin the block, they are rewinding back to when you left your house.
They don't need to. It doesn't matter about the camera. It matters about how you are as a person. Come on now. Why are we still gangbanging? Come on. Some people will like, yeah, well, that's all they got to do, and that's all the people they can look up to. Come on now. I lived in the hood when I was younger. There was people going crazy out there. You know what I did? I stayed in the house. I stayed my butt in the house. I hung out with my friends at school, and then I stayed my butt in the house. There was nothing else. Maybe I was fine with being by myself. I grew up as an only child. I was fine being in the house by myself, watching some TV, playing some video games. But some people feel like that's the only life they got to turn to. Now, is that because of their environment, or is that because of how they were raised? Is the parents not caring about what they do, who they hang out with? That plays a factor in it. Maybe their parents themselves were a part of this life, so they just naturally grew into it. I believe that parents have some of the biggest impacts on how you're going to live your life, of how you're raised. So if the parents are still trying to gangbang with their old age, however old they are, well, they're going to be, people are having kids younger and younger, so they probably was like 30, 45 when their kids are grown teens. But I mean, it's a tragic situation all about. People are not caring about what they're going to do and not thinking about the future, just thinking about what they're living on the block for the rest of their life. Not me. No, not me at all. Stay my butt in the house. Absolutely crazy. Let's see what
Dive deep into this important issue on the next episode of Street Soldiers. Join us at our new time, Friday at 4:30, right here on Fox.
See, they got a whole show about y'all. Street Soldiers. A whole show. Even the dude people might look up to, is telling y'all, please drop y'all flags. What is the point? He's saying because there's more cameras out. Hey, it's just they need to be good people. What is the point? People, see, they going hanging out with your friends on the block, think you're cool, think you're looking up to gangbangers, think, oh, jail ain't that bad. And then when you get to jail, all jail is you being inside of a gang itself. You're gonna have to join a gang in the jail or be with your gang members who are already there. And now you're already, hopefully you can change your life around when you get out, but it might not happen. We got to be honest about it. It might not happen. People are going to just be out there and be in the gang life forever. Absolutely crazy, y'all. And they're getting younger and younger by the day. Younger and younger. You have to watch over your kids. You have to. Because if you let the streets try to raise your kids, this is what happens. If you don't have mentorship in your children's life when they're growing up, this is what happens. They turn to hang out with the people on the block when they're already destined or planning to throw their lives away. It's a tragic situation, but these people are old enough to know what happens. I was talking to my roommate the other day. Once you get to these ages, like, I'm thinking, honestly, once you get older than 13, 14, you understand what can get you thrown in jail. At least that's my thinking. Especially at 16, you understand what kind of actions get you thrown in jail. And if you already don't care about it, and you weren't raised correctly to care about that, I mean, at that old age, you know what's right and wrong. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Maybe I'm just blowing it all out of proportion. But yeah, kids are still gang banging, and they're getting younger and younger by the day. And New York City gang membership has hit an all-time high. An all-time high, y'all. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you have any thoughts on this whole situation. It's a crazy world out there. It's a crazy world out there, y'all. Now let's go over to the last crime topic we're going to talk about for today, because I wasn't expecting this to pop up on my page, but a man, a woman, and the baby was found. Their bodies were found. The whole family. It's a tragic situation. I don't know what type of monster would kill a whole family, but we know that people are out there like that. So you have to be careful about whoever you are around. But let's jump right into this and see if we can learn any details about this whole situation. We also got an article that we're going to look at to give us a little bit more details about it, because it's a shorter video.
We're standing off East Huller Lane. You can see crime scene tape still marks the spot here where investigators were searching and where they ultimately found the body of a 31-year-old woman and her 1-year-old son. And while police have said that a person is in custody for the murder of a third man, they have not yet said what links that case to this one here. Endangered missing persons. That's how Reading police described 31-year-old Geraldina Peguero Mancebo and her 1-year-old son, Jaden Jr. Peguero. The two, police said, had not been seen since September 12th, last near an apartment complex on North 5th Street. Late last week, they released this flyer. Police say mom and son lived with Junior Cabrera Colon, seen here in a photo posted on a crowdfunding site. It was on Saturday, September 13th, that his body was found in a Reading park. Then police began looking for Mancebo and her son. Social media posts show the missing mom and son, some commenting how sad the woman's husband was found dead, and now they're missing. In missing person alerts, police didn't mention Cologne or the discovery of his body. But that news was released today as the Berks County DA announced one man is in custody for the murder of Cologne, who had been found with a gunshot wound. But no mention of any connection between the mother and her son's killing, and who may be responsible. What the district attorney's office has said is that information developed during that first murder case is what led them here to this scene to discover those two bodies. The DA says he has plans to announce much more on this case next week. In Berks County, Deanna Durante, NBC 10 News.
That is crazy. So the husbands, or the man, I don't know if that was a husband or boyfriend, body was found first. And then next thing you know, the wife, the mother and the baby are missing, and they were found. Tragic situation, absolute tragic situation. But let's get over into this article and see if it gives us any more information about what this whole situation is about, and we can actually see who the suspect is. So let's jump over into that. So let's get over into it. Let me zoom in some for everybody so we can get into it. A family is mourning the loss of 3 loved ones after a couple and their child were found murdered in Berks County, Pennsylvania. Authorities have arrested a suspect, but so far charges have only been filed in connection with one killing. So that's the father. A memorial remains near Bear Park in Reading, where 33-year-old Junior was found shot to death around 6:30 a.m. on September 13th. Following the discovery, Pennsylvania State Police launched a missing person investigation for his wife, his husband and wife, 30-year-old Gerdina, and their 1-year-old son Jaden, according to the family members. I'm sorry if I'm messing up their names. Investigators identified 61-year-old Jose Rodriguez as the suspect in his death, the husband's death. Court documents state that Rodriguez confessed last Friday, claiming that the husband pulled a gun on him. Rodriguez said that he wrestled the weapon away and fired one shot at him, hitting him in the back of the head, as he feared that if he did not the husband would have killed him. On Friday night, the body was found in a grassy area several miles outside Reading. The next day, Jalen's body was discovered nearby. So that is what he looks like, Rodriguez. They took the person that was the brightest person of our family, said the cousin of the victim. My family is devastated. My aunt cannot even eat right now. My grandmother says she cannot eat either. A GoFundMe page was created by the family, states that couple leaves behind 3 children, ages 8 to 13, who lived and attended school in the Dominican Republic. Rodriguez has been charged with first-degree murder, abuse of a corpse, and a related offense. So I'm assuming he moved the body to the grassy area, but only in connection with the husband's death. The Burke County District Attorney Office said it will not comment further until next week. Relatives are working to raise funds to return the victim's body to the Dominican Republic. Absolutely tragic situation. Now, the question is, did he kill the wife? Did he kill the son? What happened with the wife and son? There's a lot of questions left. Was his story about him pulling a gun untrue? Maybe if you could see that, what's making me think it's untrue is the fact that he's being charged. So he's being charged, as we just read, he's being charged with, first degree murder and abuse of a corpse and related offenses. So abuse of the corpse is in my understanding is him moving the corpse, trying to probably get rid of it, hiding it in a body, hiding it in a grassy area. If I'm wrong, let me know. But so he moved the body, but did he? There's a lot of coincidences, a lot of questions. We got to wait to find out more information, but it's a tragic situation. Was he telling the truth that the husband pulled a gun on him first? Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Well, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think the whole situation is. Because it's, at the end of the day, y'all, it's a scary world we live in. It is a truly scary world we live in. Let me see if there's, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. No more videos about it. Absolutely tragic. Got to pray for the family members, because it sounds like the grandmother and the aunt are going through a hard time dealing with this, which is understandable, which is completely understandable. It's a hard thing to deal with. Hopefully they get some answers. Hopefully we get some answers, because we need to review the world together. We have to go through this, and we need to know about this type of stuff. I would like to know the immigration status of the killer, but hey, that might not matter. He's still a horrible human being, no matter if he's a illegal immigrant, no matter if he's a legal immigrant, no matter if he was an American. He's a horrible human being who deserves the punishment he's going to get. Absolutely crazy. Well, let me say, I don't think it's self-defense since he moved the body, but if it's self-defense, it's self-defense, but I don't think about that. I don't know about all that. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Do you think it was self-defense, or do you think he has some, or do you think he also has something to do with the murder of the wife and the baby? So it's a lot of crazy things going on. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, that was the last crime thing we got into today. We're going to get into more of the just regular news stuff. That there's things that came across my algorithm that I think that we need to talk about. So now we're going to pivot over into, seems like the CDC has is warning about a new disease, an epidemic that's going on. So we got to look into that and see what all this is about. So let's get into it. We got 2 videos to watch about this, and let's see what it's all about.
CDC is warning that a dangerous parasitic illness is becoming a bigger threat in the United States.
In a recent report, the agency said Chagas disease should be reclassified as endemic in the U.S., meaning that it has a constant presence here. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to explain how it spread and what makes it so concerning.
Well, Ty and Kimberly, Chagas is spread by so-called kissing bugs. They're not generally this big. Now, they're called that because they have a tendency to bite humans in the face. The distinctive insects are about the size of a penny with a long...
Hold on. There's a bug out there that likes to bite humans in the face? Yeah, see, that's why I don't like to go outside, man. That's why I don't like to go outside. Let's keep
flat
going.
Body. Now, experts say about half of the bugs actually carry the dangerous parasite. Now, while kissing bugs are most often found in Latin America, as temperatures have warmed, well, they've spread north.
They're called kissing bugs, and these insects carry a parasite that can cause Chagas disease. Experts say this potentially deadly condition is here to stay in the U.S. Chagas disease is spread when the feces of an infected kissing bug enters a bite or wound or gets into a person's eyes, nose, or mouth. 8 million people are believed to have this disease globally, including an estimated 280,000 in the U.S.
Wow.
The CDC says those who have it may not know it. There are now 32 states where kissing bugs have been detected, including Ohio and Indiana just to our south. At least 8 states have reported human infections shown here in the brighter red. Early stage symptoms can be mild or go unnoticed, but can include fever, fatigue, body aches, headache, rash, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, and the swelling of an eyelid. If left untreated, it can lead to digestive problems like an enlarged esophagus or colon, and heart problems, including an enlarged heart, heart failure, altered heart rate or rhythm, or even sudden death. Chagas is caused by a parasite, and anti-parasitic treatments are effective if taken early.
Now, there are no drugs or vaccines to prevent Chagas disease, so the best thing to do is to limit contact with kissing bugs. Now, they are mostly active at dusk or overnight, so experts really recommend taking steps to keep these bugs out of your house, like sealing any cracks or gaps and using screens on windows and doors.
Now, the picture you just showed of the kissing bug, it looks a lot like other bugs that I've seen around here. How do you even know the difference?
Yeah, so locally, actually, the kissing bug looks very similar to the stink bug.
Exactly. That's what I was
jumps to mind. Now, there are actually some differences in the coloring and the body shape. Kissing bugs actually have a little bit of red to them, and they're shaped a little bit differently. But honestly, I'm not really interested in getting up that close to them to tell the difference. The good news I will say is kissing bugs are not common in Michigan, and realistically, you should just remove the bug regardless. You shouldn't squish them, by the way, either stink bugs or kissing bugs. Stink bugs because they're stinky, kissing bugs because they can actually release Chagas.
Jeez.
You can't even
But the
kill
good
them?
thing is they're not
in
Michigan. Okay.
Hopefully it stays that way. Thank you, doctor.
I stay in the South, so they probably in the South. Let's get over into this next video and see if it gives us any more details about it.
Kissing bugs may sound sweet, but the little critters could be deadly. And that's because they transmit a parasitic illness called Chagas disease, which researchers in a new CDC published study say should be declared as endemic to the U.S. Here are 4 things to know. 1. What are kissing bugs? The tradamine bug, also known as a kissing bug, can be as small as a red ant and about as big as a penny, depending on where it is in its life cycle. But no matter its size,
the kissing bug is a bloodsucker.
Dr. Norman Beatty is an associate professor of medicine in the Division of Infectious Disease and Global Medicine at the University of Florida College of Medicine and an author of the recent CDC report.
It has this food tube we call the proboscis, and it rams it into your skin where there's a blood vessel, and it starts sucking your blood.
It's not unusual for these bites to be completely painless. You may not even notice when they happen. The bites are usually around the face, which is how the bug got its name.
The term kissing bug really goes back to the early 1900s. People were describing this insect coming in at night, biting them, and it was described as biting people on the face.
2. How do kissing bugs transmit Chagas disease? Chagas disease is an infection caused by a parasite in kissing bugs.
It's not through the bite itself where we see the transmission of this parasite. The parasite is found inside the hindgut of this insect.
That means if the bug defecates, or I'm just going to say when it poops on you,
The bug poop has the parasite in it, and it's on your skin or near mucous membrane, and unfortunately would get in through those entry points.
The parasite can also be passed in utero from mother to child via blood transfusions or by eating raw or unpeeled fruits and vegetables, growing in areas where kissing bugs are common. Chagas disease can have a range of symptoms.
Some people may not have any symptoms, but the parasites entered their body. A lot of times it's described of a flu-like illness with some fevers and chills. You may have some swollen glands or lymph nodes in the neck or in the armpits, other parts of the body. You're just not feeling well for several days, several weeks, and this will go away on its own.
2 FDA-approved antiparasitic medicines can treat Chagas disease, but left untreated, the illness can progress into a chronic stage, which can be more deadly.
We do know that this parasite can persist in your body for many years, if not many decades, before you would recognize the symptoms of chronic Chagas disease, which we call determinate chronic Chagas disease. And the one area of the body we worry about the most is the heart. If this infection is close to an electrical pathway of the heart, a person can have a sudden cardiac death, really, and then slow but progressive heart failure. And the heart really just continues to weaken over time, and a person will eventually will pass away from heart failure.
The parasite that causes Chagas disease can also infect dogs and other animals.
Oh, wow.
3. Kissing bugs and Chagas disease are not new or uncommon in the U.S. According to Dr. Beatty, there are close to 160 species of kissing bugs in the world, and most are native to North, Central, and South America. 11 of those species live in the U.S., largely in the South.
The kissing bugs have been here in North America probably longer than us humans.
Human cases of the disease have been reported in 8 states: California, Arizona, Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and Arkansas. There's no evidence Chagas disease is spreading rapidly in the U.S., Dr. Beatty says, but an endemic designation would help him and other researchers underscore that the illness is not a sporadic disease. It could help boost case reporting, public awareness, and research.
We are challenging that and providing evidence that this is considered endemic, meaning it's happening consistently without a pattern, but through a consistent transmission rate.
4. How can you protect yourself? Kissing bugs generally can't make their way into well-built homes, but they look for opportunities to crawl in through even the smallest of cracks. So if you have a raised home, take steps to keep other critters from living underneath.
A lot of homes are sitting on cinder blocks or sitting on wooden pillars, and that allows the insect to come up from underneath, and also allows animals to have a nest or a harborage under the home. And so these insects are opportunistic, and they do have hosts that they seek after. And so if you've got a pack rat nest underneath your home or in your attic, you'll find the kissing bug is really after those pack rats, but then finds you, and now you've got kissing bugs that are inside your home biting you.
You should also keep wood and other brush away from your home. Wear long clothing and use bug spray in outdoor areas where kissing bugs are found. And a reminder, if the parasite is on your pet, it's circulating close to you too. So regularly clean any outdoor spaces your pet uses. You can also play a role in tracking this disease.
Absolutely. Wow. So Chagas disease, they wanted to get it classified as an endemic. It's crazy thing, a kissing bug, a bug that just goes after your face is crazy. They like to bite people on the face at night, so be careful. It's not really much. Seal up all the gaps in your house. Wear bug spray. They said don't kill it, which is absolutely wild to me. So just like a stink bug, don't kill it. Catch it and release it back outside. So, world is a crazy place, y'all. The world is a crazy place. But let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you've seen any of these bugs, where you are. Because I haven't seen one yet, at least not to my knowledge. But I don't go outside at night too either. I don't like. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, that is what the CDC is warning us about. So we, at the end of the day, we just got to be careful. We have to be careful. Now, we're going to go over to, it looks like we're going to go to the zoo. So it looks like the zoos are needing more funding because a lot of confiscated animals they're catching a lot of confiscated animals. Like they're being shipped over, people are trying to ship animals through the mail, getting them caught at airports. And because of all the animals they are catching, it sounds like some of the zoos are needing more federal funding. So let's get over into that video and see what all this is about.
Crawling, basking, or squirming, the reptile house at Zoo Atlanta is teeming with animals, some with very unique stories. Take, for example, Luchadora, the boa constrictor.
I believe it was 5 individual snakes that were in someone's luggage and they had been stuffed into Coke bottles.
Or Gerdude, the iguana. Someone tried to ship him through the U.S. mail.
The return address was fake, so it was deemed lost mail.
Or Littlefoot the tortoise, now one of the zoo's ambassador animals.
It feels like it looks like you'd expect it to.
Discovered by U.S. Fish and Wildlife inspectors at the Atlanta airport.
Someone traveling in from somewhere in South America had brought him back as a baby, thinking that it was okay to bring him back into the U.S. as a pet.
These are just some of a growing number of wild animals confiscated by law enforcement. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service intercepting more than 72,000 live animals in the last 6 years. More than 26,000 of them were endangered species.
Oh, wow.
The illegal animal trade touching everything from corals like these at the New York Aquarium to primates, and from cobras to even tigers.
People with wealth and wanting the unique or something out of the ordinary, but it's also tied to a really illicit and bad human behavior, drug trafficking, human trafficking, weapons, and money laundering.
Not all animals are smuggled. Sometimes they're victims of uneducated tourists or bad paperwork at a port of entry. But all of the animals snatched from the wild do need a new home. And as some zoos battle slipping attendance, tight budgets, and even calls for boycotts, this new surge presents yet another challenge.
If our zoo can't handle the burden of, say, 50 large tortoises coming here at one time, we'll take what we can handle, and then we'll contact our network of other zoos to say, hey, guys, we can take this many. How many can you take?
And that's the current structure, an individual inspector calling an individual facility, hoping it has space and expertise to handle whatever animal is in custody.
With so many animals being confiscated all over the country, it's a fairly complex process to find someone to take care of them all, and that's because there's no national system for finding them new homes.
Enter the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, which has piloted a wildlife confiscation network in Southern California.
I am it right now. I am the one phone a friend for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
That's Mandy Fisher, who takes confiscation calls not just in California, but from across the country. And she says it's more than a one-woman job.
The closest animal care facility might not be the best one for that particular case.
The animal care and conservation community is backing legislation slowly winding through Congress to create a national wildlife confiscation network. The bill calls for $5 million a year in funding.
We know it can help more animals and more law enforcement if we had more funding, more resources. I think it's definitely a matter of life and death for every single animal that shows up in the illegal trade.
A growing effort to save innocent animals after difficult journeys they were never supposed to take.
And Aaron Gilchrist is joining us now. That's I have to say, pretty lucky assignment to be able to handle those and be with those animals. You mentioned this legislation come with a $5 million price tag. How much support, Aaron, is there to actually make this national network a reality?
So there is bipartisan support in Congress for this right now, although it has slowed in moving through Congress at this point. At the same time, we know that the administration has shown some support as well. The Fish and Wildlife Service says they're backing this measure. The president, they say, sees this issue of wildlife trafficking as a national security threat, as an economic threat. And so having a system where these inspectors who find these animals no longer have to get on the phone and start calling around to every zoo or aquarium or animal sanctuary or wildlife reserve. They wouldn't have to do that anymore. They could call one coordinator and that person would find the best facility for whatever animal needs a new home, Yasmin.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news.
Well, I wasn't even aware of this. I was not aware of this whole situation going on. But hey, if they feel like that the government needs to set up something, I mean, I would be fine with it. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Do you think that the government needs to step in for this? Sounds like there's a lot of people trying to smuggle animals into the U.S. for different reasons. They mentioned drug trafficking. They mentioned just people just wanting an exotic pet. Might even be some people who out there, I know just different things I've read about and different shows I've watched talked about people who like to eat exotic animals, which is absolutely wild to me, but it's they sounds like they need some funding. They need some funding, but let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. People, they got smuggling snakes and Coke bottles, and they got turtles and socks, trying to sneak cobras through the airport. So it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. Now, the last thing we're gonna get into today, the last thing is a TikTok video that came across my feed. Basically, a woman talking about no more free conversations. So I know we don't talk about relationships too much, but it's interesting, and we want to listen to what she has to say. So she's saying no more free conversations, no more free dates, anything like that. And it's got a little following going on. So let's get over into that and see what all is talking about and what she is talking about. So let's get into it and see what it all about. Let's see what it's all about. So as you see her, let me rewind.
I pay too much money for my upkeep.
So her name is Not Your Average Joe 5. So she's got 49K followers and 1.3 million likes. I'll leave a link to her account when I break down these videos, but let's get over into it and see what it says. See what it says.
I pay too much money for my upkeep to be having free conversations. I had somebody reach out to me. They have been reaching out to me in my DMs, and I was kind of ignoring it, just leaving them on red because I'm not interested. And today they consistently message me, and so I said, okay, I'll answer. This morning I had a shampoo appointment. And so I answered, and they were like, am I disturbing you? And I said, I don't converse with men that I don't know. And they said, well, let's change that. And I said, well, I'm actually on the way to go get my hair done. You gonna contribute to that? They sent a long paragraph asking me to explain why they should do that. And they said now they understand the kind of woman that I am, on and on and on. And I said, no problem, no worries, have a good day. I feel like this. I keep my nails done, keep my toes done. So nails, toes, every month. I get my hair done every month. This is a luxury style. I keep my hair up, right? So getting my hair done every month. Nails, toes, hair. I own my home. I got an acre of land. I have to get my grass cut. I get my yard work done by myself. All of that is covered by myself. I have a nice body. I get that done in the gym. I have a gym membership. I clothe my nice body with nice clothes. And so I have to go shopping. And I wear makeup, which I enjoy. And in the comments, I don't care what you got to say about makeup. But I also spend money on that. And so to keep this up, I also eat on a meal plan that I have created. And so for that meal.
So hold on.
Damn.
First things, she's listing out all the stuff she does normally for herself. But when do we get to the point where just to start a conversation with a woman to where we need to spend some money on getting her hair done? We don't even know. The whole point is when you start trying to talk to a woman or a man is to get to know each other first. So to even get to know you, to see if we want to pursue this, I have to spend money on your hair, which, well, what was that old thing that people used to always say? It ain't tricking if you got it. Even if I got it, is it not still tricking? Is it not still tricking? But let's keep going and see what else she has to say.
Meal plan, I have to go grocery shopping to eat off of the meal plan that I have created. And so all of this takes money. All of this takes money to upkeep this. And so why am I having free conversations? And it is okay. It is okay if you don't feel the way that I feel and you are having free conversations. But I think about this, especially if you're messaging me when I'm on the way to an appointment where I'm about to spend hundreds of dollars to get my hair washed, and I'm continuing to have this appointment where I'm spending hundreds of dollars on myself, and you're interested in me? No, I don't have free conversations. And I implore you, if you are a woman who takes great care of herself and does great things for herself and keeps herself up, think about whether you're having free conversations. I treat my phone like it still has minutes and you're not using mine up. That's it. Love you. Bye. I paid too much money.
Well, that was her point, y'all. That was her point, that basically we're not going to have any more free conversations. Now, as you can see in some of the comments, is this a skit? Is this for real? Oh, brother, I'll never teach my son to pay money for a conversation. See, some people have the right ideas. This is basic adulting. Yeah, that's what I said. People want credit for being an adult. Yes, they do. So it's a crazy concept to me, to where if we're trying to get to know each other, like I'm not going, well, see, I guess it's different for men and women, because I wouldn't even think of asking, yeah, men and women are different, but I wouldn't even think of asking a woman, I got to get a lineup. Got to get a lineup. Can you send me some money so I can get a line, and then we can talk. I'm going to get a lineup right now. Send me that money. It's only about $40. Send me some money, and we'll go get a lineup. And that way, I'll be willing to talk to you. But women have their own money nowadays, so they're able to. I mean, don't get me wrong. She is within her rights to ask for whatever she wants to. That is what being a free will person is. You got the right to ask whatever kind of qualifications you want for the man who's trying to pursue you. But come on, men. Let's be honest here. Why would you spend your hard-earned money? Now, I think the majority of us work hard for our money. I think even if you're rich, you work hard for your money. But why would you spend your hard-earned money on a woman who doesn't even want to just go, we can sit down and have some coffee. I'll buy your coffee. That's fine. Let's sit down and get to know each other first before I'm willing to intertwine my life and spend my money on you. And then this might be the same type of woman who feels like she doesn't need to spend her money on you. I mean, that's not what she said, but that's just my inference from going to what type of this thinking can bring. Because yes. How I see relationships is that both people need to be willing to come together and do and spend their own money on each other. I think that's how a healthy relationship is. If we're having a good time, I spend my money, I spend some money on you going out on some dates, and then you do something nice for me by spending some money. Like you might take me out, go get a haircut, buy me some shoes. It might be something like that. You never know what can do. I'm not saying money is the biggest part, but for some of these relationships, it sounds like it's one of the only things a lot of women are starting to care about nowadays. They're saying, well, I spend all this money on myself. What can you bring to me? And then you got, like I said, you got women who think that the only thing a man should bring is the money. Or as long as the man brings the money, then it's fine. But I don't think that's how a healthy relationship should go. It's both people need to be 100% in the relationship, especially when you get to marriage time. I know the whole conversation about 50-50 when it was talking about relationships. My main thing is I think that we should both work towards to where our monies are together. So like, say if we get married and we're going through and it's time to start thinking about, because before you get married, you need to start thinking about finances. Who's going to handle the finances? How are we going to talk about money? The best thing, in my opinion, would be to combine the money together, and then you make a budget. You get so much money, I get so much money. We spend so much. This account is for bills. This account is for investments, and it's not your money. It's not my money. It's our money, especially when we get married. But now you have to think about because I already know her hair costs a lot. Her hair is going to cost a lot of money. So now you got to think about paying a car payment just to have a conversation with a young lady on the phone. Some men would do it. Some men would do it, and then they'll be like, "Oh well, you're just broke, and if you can't handle it, don't talk to the women." I'm fine with you thinking that. If a girl asked me to send her some money just to have a conversation with her, I would not even respond back. It's just my thinking. I don't know. The game is messed up. But not everywhere. Just some women have the game messed up. Some women think that they are more entitled than they should be. It's a wild world we live in. It's a wild world, but it's see that what it says, babe. There's a difference between setting standards and paying for company. One is productive, and the other is illegal. At the end of the day, if someone's just paying to have a conversation with you, I don't want to say what it sounds like, but come on now. And she's asking, she's like, I understand women. Yes, they do a lot to just look how they look every single day, which is what you're going to do because you're living, you're going through life. But men do the same thing. They go to the gym, have gym memberships, get their hair cut, buy nice clothes, all that stuff. Eat right, get a meal plan. They do the same things. But maybe it's different. I'm assuming she feels it's different because she's a woman. And woman is meant to be taken care of by the man. I think that you might think I'm wrong, but I think that in a relationship, the man and woman should take care of each other. There are some things I'm good at. There are some things you're good at. And when we become and join into a relationship, we handle what the other person is lacking. At least that's my thinking, but I might be wrong, and people might think I'm crazy for it. I might be wrong. People might think I'm crazy for it, but it's a crazy world out here, y'all. And men, I don't think you should be paying. I don't think you should be sending women money just to have a conversation with them. Like if she doesn't want to have a conversation with you in the first place, then it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time, but we got to think that if she really wanted to talk to you, she's not going to think about all that. There's somebody that she talks to who doesn't have to bring any of this stuff to the table. But hey, it's the world we live in now. And there are some girls like that. But let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. But that is the end of the show, everybody, today. That is the end of the show. Let me know your thoughts on any of the things we talked about today. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. You already know these videos will be broken down. We're a little shorter today. Got a lot of things to do, a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, let me know, y'all. Let me know. This is AC Reviews the World, and I am your host, AC the Engineer. And you already know I got to play the outro before we end it. But yeah, everybody, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. And everybody have a good weekend, y'all. Have a good weekend. I'll see y'all back. I'm probably going to do a pre-recorded. I got to go out of town for work, so I'm going to have a pre-recorded video up, live stream on Tuesday morning. So y'all see that. I will be in my comments. I will be on the comments. So if y'all have any comments, please let me know, and then I'll be responding. But that's all, y'all. Peace.